Here we have it. Let's see if PSG.LGD can draw another series today towards that game 3. We've had them all go the long haul so far today. Let's see if we can get one more out of these two teams, or if Liquid can shut this down, get the 2-0. They have those big key signature heroes, Matumba Man on his Lone Druid. We've seen that do pretty well in some majors of the past. Is it still good enough to do it today?
His bear, he's trying to steal a rune. He's stealing it. He's got the rune, no one's there. He snuck it around, he snuck it all the way through that enemy jungle.
There's no one keeping their tabs on it on PSG.LGD, so Liquid will get the 3 bounty runes to start things off.
Cheeky little plays. The small things, he's going to, always add up, make a little bit of extra different, an extra Tango salve or an item, that faster Blightstone that he's got queued up for his lane. Every little piece counts when you're so close as far as how these teams match up.
And talking about that lane, this mid matchup, Lone Druid versus DOTA, are we going to see anyone suffer here?
Not really, but we should see both players farm pretty well. Once Lone Druid hits level 5, there is that kill potential, but before then, DOTA should be doing just fine. We'll see a couple Wraith bans and use that snake if you need to secure some last hits.
And we are going to see, once again, of course, PSG.LGD making sure that they get that matchup that they want to, as R-Mate will make his way down to the bottom lane, trying to get himself against that Tidehunter.
Yeah, it's the musical lanes.
The call of Miracle being echoed here by this beautiful crowd late into the night.
We've had a lot of great Dota today. Every series so far going 3 games, and LGD are hoping that it's 4 series going the distance.
Down bottom.
Yeah, just trying to mess with some of these pulls, but PSG.LGD have secured themselves the safe lane pull. They're the ones going for the tri lane this game around. At least for now, wanting to utilize some of these pull camps and more than anything, put some pressure onto Liquid. But see if there should be a rotation top, because you're not really looking to have FY solo a lane. He's the support.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward way that PSG.LGD have started things off, trying to find this position for Arme.
They need Chalice's level 2. That's the teleport. And that's when he can TP top with that, and then he's got his TP scroll to swap lanes.
Yeah, at the moment, Arme's he's the one making the small camp pulls, and FY is the one soaking up a solo lane top. So they'll be sure to sort that out.
Yep, he's up there now. Got the level 2, got the teleport, so now they've got the lane matchups that they wanted. And instantly, the second Chalice is up there. Fisher's being thrown out. They want to harass Miracle as much as possible and put him on the back foot.
Down bottom. Little attempt onto GH. Spike Carapace does stop Arme from chasing down any further. Arme, of course, wanting to be more focused on just getting those first few waves of creeps and having those early levels so that they can try between the two of them to kill off this bottom lane Nyx assassin for now. But the movements are there.
Long walk.
It really is, as it's going to be that long movement from Mind Control towards the top. He just cannot afford to lane against Arme's Monkey King.
And we'll see if Arme matches it. We're kind of reaching that point where it's like, how long do you keep jumping around lanes? It does feel like Monkey King, as much as he's known for jumping around the map, may just want to settle in a lane. But the problem is he reached top. It's now Miracle who also has to walk across the map. So to complete the lane swaps, yes, Arme's not laying against the Tide, but he's laying against the Nyx, a 4 position. So he's quite happy free farming down bottom. He may look to consider the rotation once Miracle arrives to his lane.
So much focus from the teams to get these matchups, as neither side ready to settle.
Yep. Mid lane, even CS battle, nothing really going or separating the two there. A couple extra denies for Matu with the bonus last hitting potential of having the bear with the Lone Druid hero.
And having that split shot early on the Deucer as well, just allowing the CS to continue and also have that harassment.
Yeah, you can chip at the bear whenever you're last hitting as well. It can add up and force him to resummon or even threaten to kill off the Spirit Bear.
Bottom lane, GH. Good with the stun. Miracle is on top, gets the ensnare straight away onto Arme. The cast and Maledict will stop Miracle from going any further. Arme gets that boundless strike out to get the Jingu mastery stacks, and will be able to lifesteal his way up a little bit again.
Yeah, usually you want to use the Boundless with Jingu, but he uses it just to get the Jingu. Back at mid, Matu's going for a kill with the Entangle. He's diving the tower.
He is. There needs to be backup potentially coming in for maybe.
Oh,
he's out of mana. I mean, Matumaman's just he's going to continue to try and chase this.
Oh, he's not getting the root. He just can't get the RNG. He's diving the tier 2, but Matu's just praying for a root. He got one root way back early on, but he hit like 6, 7 more times without a root.
Still, though, pushing maybe out of this lane.
And Matu going for all those early game harass times. The Blightstone with Orb of Venom.
FY has the Invis. He's still on his own, though, and just as a level 3 Shaker, not the damage required, really, to kill off Matu. So will not go for a play, at least until maybe he's back in the lane. Maybe then the two of them can try and catch him out.
Yeah, that's kind of how this mid lane goes. Even CS trade, then Lone Druid hits level 5 and instantly applying that pressure.
Still hard to do, though. FY's got to find the perfect block.
Trying to bait this. He's turning and right-clicking, but here comes Fissure.
Here we go. They'll try for the block off. Matu moving himself away. The snake bounces are there, but there's the Fizz. Separates FY from Matu, as Matu will be able to keep the distance and continue to run himself back to safety.
Nova's nearby. He's kind of looking to surround this one. And Matu needs to be careful. His bear very, very low.
Doesn't want to give that up. Won't have to. Able to jump it back and walks it back to base for the free heal. Down bottom, though. Good block off from FY. We'll keep Xnova safe for a little bit of time, as Miracle is unable to chase him. GH will continue to try and find this kill, find this first blood. It's still 5.5 minutes in. We're yet to see any bloodshed. He has the Mango, pops it. Stun connects nicely from GH. Reaches over, grabs Xnova.
That's a lot of gold. That's a first blood. 6 minutes in, you see a 435 gold bounty. Like, I think combined with the fact that LGD had a gold lead, suddenly gold bounties, just even with the tiniest tiny gold lead, the way the bounties work with the math formula behind it is you just get extra gold because you're behind.
And GH could continue to be even more of a nuisance here with that haste rune. As soon as maybe shows his face, though, GH has to be careful how he pokes around. Feeling confident with that haste, and it's time that maybe he's looking towards the neutral camp, but GH, along with Matuma Man, will be there to sort of bully him away. FY popping the Fisher down to make sure they can't dive any further. But Liquid have forced maybe away from that neutral camp. Just trying their best to slow down his farm. Still, though, it's even CS pretty much between him and Matu's Lone Druid.
Yeah, Medusa getting some of those CS from the neutrals, but as far as net worth goes, dead even.
Down bottom, looking towards mind control. The Maledict upon him is going to tick him down low. He's trying his best to run. The right clicks are enough. They get the kill. Mind control, knocked out of the lane.
Yeah, not cracking off that one. Witch Doctor Maledict, very effective this game against some of these tanky frontliners of Team Liquid. The melee Tide, even your Nyx Dooms, your supports don't like playing against this Maledict. But the problem is, nobody can really lane mid very well on LGD. DOTA wants to just kind of farm the easier, uncontested jungle, but does have to constantly come back to defend this mid-tier 1 tower that Matu is constantly pressuring.
Down bottom, GH is probably going to pop into the Maledict. He does. It's another kill for the two of them down bottom. PSG.LGD making good work on this bottom lane. A lot of kill potential between the two.
Yeah, they're not about that voodoo restoration life. They just want that damage potential, the kill threat of Maledict. Already level 5. X-Nova is incredibly high level. With all the lane swapping from the cores, he's gotten some solo XP plus some kills.
Kuro, Miracle trying to chase down Chalice. Hard to do so, though, with the shake around. In fact, Kuro taking a lot of damage in response. The Sprout is out. He'll try and cut his way through. There's another Fisher. They get the trap off. Chalice gets the kill on Kuro. As PSG.LGD going to work on these side lanes, doing a great job of forcing Liquid back.
Shaker, to me, has been one of the heroes of the day. Not like this, must first pick OP category, but he's just been one of the biggest playmaking heroes from what we've seen in this series and the previous ones.
Try for another Fisher block onto GH. Don't quite
Chalice
find him
has
still.
ulti.
But with the Sprout, GH taking a heavy amount of right click. Miracle will try and turn and force FY back behind the tower. The stun for GH connects, and Miracle gets the kill. GH was the one to be jumped upon, but he's able to turn around and have the setup to get Miracle that action.
I think they're expecting a bit more damage coming out there. The Wrath of Nature not quite working as intended. But all in all, you look at the net worth of these Radiant cores, they are leading the way other than Matu's Lone Druid, giving LGD slight edge.
FY, TP into mid. They have their eyes on GH. GH is pretty low. Does have to be careful. Good bounce with the snake. The fear is there as Matu will be able to utilize the bear to keep X-Nova and maybe at bay and keep himself safe and alive in the middle lane.
Yeah, very proficient on the micro heroes. Matu, his Brood, his Lone Druid, some of his best, and showing it there with no panic, just casual Savage Roar and walk away. He's playing without boots on his main hero, just the boots on the bear.
Top lane, X-Nova's going to be sort of moving between the top and the middle, seeing where the best place is for him to make a play again.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Crazy to think that the Witch Doctor has been one of the biggest playmakers of this lane stage. Gets
And
him out
there we
of
have
mid.
it. Beautiful bounces there between the bear and Matu. There's the
dead.
bounce as well with the Maledict. X-Nova. This Witch Doctor popping off in the early game. Sprouts out onto Kuro, who'll try for the TP away. Does manage to make it out of there. But X-Nova getting huge things done for PSG.LGD in this laning stage.
Monkey wanted to go play around with the Tide to try and contest bounty runes, but Mind Control does a good job securing a bounty rune while not getting jumped on. But it's still PSG.LGD, 3 bounty runes of the 4, a kill in the mid lane Lone Druid. And again, it's X-Nova, it's a Witch Doctor. This is not a hero you associate with playmaking, but we constantly sing his praises as one of the best 5 position players out there, and he's showing us why.
Liquid, they'll lose the mid-tier 1. They're going to try and chase down and see if they can get a route onto them, but FY easily able to shut down the chase of Liquid with a Fissure.
Yep, they have such good anti-chase. You drop a Fissure, they've got the Sprout as well, so it's very hard to chase down for these kills if you're Team Liquid.
2K lead for PSG.LGD off the back of finding these big pickoffs.
Matu will be successful. He manages to get that tier 1 mid tower now, just sends the bear in, knowing that it is a little bit safer. I think he'll be a lot more careful about his positioning next to his bear. The cast being bounced between the two was his undoing there, and Witch Doctor's always been one of those heroes that kind of matches up pretty nicely against the lone druid in a lot of ways because of the way the cast can bounce between the hero and his bear.
That's the bottom lane that Liquid want next. As soon as they take that mid tier 1, they want to move down bottom. They have 4 pushing in the lane. Matu there behind the tower. As the entire lineup of Liquid's around. Let's get scanned out by PSG.LGD, and PSG.LGD will look to just mirror the movement. They're straight up to the top lane.
Yep.
Will be a TP in from GH on his Nyx Assassin to see if he can slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll only look to set this one up. Any subsequent TPs will take some time. It looks like he's just fishing around for info, scanning to see how many heroes are up here, maybe hoping for a courier to go flying in, which is coming in soon. Doesn't look like he's going to get it on the way there.
If he stays under the
Maybe,
Vendetta,
yeah.
he could get the hit onto it, and he's going to find it by the looks of it, and he does. Yoga Club taken away from Arme.
It's like a nice, it's such a like heads up, high IQ play to make as a Nyx. Just go Vendetta behind a push, because often couriers are just going to bring out items. There's 3 or 4 heroes pushing down a lane. At this stage of the game, you're bringing out, you know, your TP scrolls, your drums, your early game items are being completed, and he's just sitting there, and his kind of high IQ play pays off.
Still very close, and not a lot of kills in this early game. 12 minutes, 4 for 2. Both teams just focusing on taking these objectives. Tier 1's down on both halves of the map. See if Matu can do this on his own. It's hard to do so with X-Nova. In position, Buddha Restoration, and any time Matu tries to move in, that cask is a nightmare for him to deal with when pushing in with the bear.
And the threat is really that you have to, anytime Lone Druid does something like that, is you need a second hero there, because he has the solo kill potential. So without the Witch Doctor being there, and Witch Doctor doesn't really want to go to that bottom lane. You just want to send the Shaker down there alone to farm up and complete this Blink Dagger, but because of that Lone Druid threat, you're constantly forced to have people playing defensive, protecting their teammate as often as possible. GH is underneath the sentry here. They don't see him just yet, but they will when they walk to the high ground.
Gonna try for him. Bishop is gonna be held onto by FY as GH movement speed gets himself far enough away. They'll look towards Matu instead, potentially.
No dust, they just had the sentry, so even if they hit him with a fissure, they weren't really going to be able to get on top of him. No Blink Dagger on the Shaker still, of course. Probably want to see like Nature's Prophet play with some dust here, since Chalice is the one who can be anywhere on the map, so if they find a way to catch the Nyx Assassin, it will be probably an essential part of getting those kills. But things will slow down here. You know, your LGD, you've got this Deucer. They may not scale like to the super late game, but they still need to hit like these 1 or 2 item timing on Deucer before they start 5-manning down lanes. They ideally want to try and strike before Matu's Radiance is complete on Lone Druid. That's where Liquid get very hard to fight into.
And GH, he's found a catch. FY trying for a TP out, but GH was there with his eyes on him. As FY picked off on the bottom. Matu getting the kill as well, propelling him closer and closer towards that Radiance timing.
Arme has an Invis rune. He's going in enemy jungle. We'll get some info for himself and his team, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to turn this into a whole lot. And the Monkey King pick hasn't felt impactful yet. There's going to be this crazy big team fight around his ultimate with the Deuce's Stone Gaze, but you kind of were looking to pick this hero to shut down at least one of the lanes, but with all the musical lanes, Liquid find themselves in a position where it's this very passive game. Matu's able to pressure the lanes, and Miracle's Troll just being quietly free farming, working on a Battle Fury.
Top lane, rundowns there onto Chalice. If they want to do it, they've got a Ravage. They don't need it. Straight up as the Infernal Blade comes out. Mind Control end up getting trapped in nicely with Chalice, as Chalice cannot get his way out of this one.
Yeah, he probably should have just gone for the insta-TP. I'm pretty confident Mind Control would have used Ravage to get that kill because of the pace of this game. They deny a bounty rune top. Sorry, Liquid. But force out that Ravage, because then you can make some plays. But by trying to run away, Doom rotates in.
And the tree, it's cut. They found Arme. Matu and GH.
Wow.
Able to cancel the setup they was looking for. FI will walk in with the slam. Does manage to get GH in response. But Liquid, they'll take that trade.
Absolutely. Very quiet Arme game. No kills or assists for him. It's been mostly the Witch Doctor and Chalice's Nature's Prophet who are the ones setting up and enabling that PSG.LGD team to get any kills on the map.
And they've got to, Arme's got to be careful. Matu, with having the Quelling Blade on the bear, he's always going to be looking for trees to cut down. Mid lane, X-Nova will try for a kill attempt, but Kuro, he's got the regen to sort of outdo any damage from the Maledict.
didn't quite get the cast bounce he was perhaps hoping for. If he managed to maybe cast once more on a Kuro, could have perhaps seen a kill. But in some ways, you know, Liquid's kind of playing with like 2 greedier 4s with both Nyx and a 5-position Doom with the Devour bonus gold. So last game, Kuro's able to finish items. He gets a Ghost Scepter. That's such a key item to have then, and not that he's getting a Ghost Scepter this game, but he's going to be at least not that, you know, typical under-farm 5 like the Witch Doctor will be this game. Particularly playing against Nyx, we're going to have to see a lot of sentries and detection being purchased.
Smart pick up this game from maybe his DOTA has the Manta style. A lot of things that he can play his way out of and around. You can look for the timing as well, get some sweet dodges. Can make it that little bit harder for the Doom to be laid down upon him. Getting himself away from the claws of the troll and his axes.
GH has been found.
He's been caught out. Fisher blocks him in. Chalice in with the TP. GH will have to let himself go.
And FY snipes the kill. Very intentional because he's so close to his blink. He wants to get that extra gold. He's just been sitting bottom. They've managed to de-ward this side of the map to help make it a little bit safer. And when they get his blink up, there's so many more plays that PSG.LGD can make.
But the farm game that's being played, Miracle, has got that Battle Fury now completed.
Oh my.
So I mean, for their team having both the Battle Fury on the Troll and eventually Matu, very close to the Relic, 3,600 gold, they are going to have these 2 cores which are going to farm at a pace that, you know, maybe on his DOTA will probably be able to keep up with, but Arme and his Monkey King, they need to make action happen if they want to stay on the same level.
Vendetta initiation coming.
CX Nova.
They want a couple. They want Chalice too.
There's Kuro coming in as well. GH looking towards the back lines as Matu's chasing on the front. They do get the Wukong's command down those Arme. Tries to get the Jingu stacked on Miracle. Miracle only 3 stacks here as they've doomed FY. FY trying his best to retreat.
He's hiding in the Wukongs.
Yeah, he's managed to walk himself entirely away as Liquid had just passed by him. He's going to outlive the Doom.
And Chalice just TP's mid. He's like, all right, that's a tier 2 tower compressor. Let's force those TPs back.
Yeah, X-Nova, the only one to die there.
Oh, Arme almost had his tree chopped. Mind Control was fishing for him. Can he get it?
Oh, he got it! Arme monkeying around in the trees. And Liquid, they're ready to cut them down. He's got to be more careful in that one. The Quelling Blades are out on Liquid's heroes. They will chop his trees down.
And you want to have an idea of where the players think this game is doing? All you've got to do is see the item that Monkey King Arme has queued up. He has a Midas queued up as a Monkey King. He sees this going like Echo Saber Midas. This is not your everyday Monkey King build.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me about this. I mean, why the Midas and not the Battle Fury if he wants to play the farm game?
The experience that the Midas gives you can just accelerate you that much faster in the late game. It's not always entirely about the item progression. I mean, Midas does take a bit longer to pay off, and I think he doesn't want to get too greedy. The Battle Fury is like, you look at your item times, you're going to need a BKB, there's some other items you want to fight with, and Battle Fury does slow them down quite a bit. Whereas the Midas, you know, it's 2k gold on a farming item. That just gets you to those key level 20, level 25 talents that you're really going to want to have this game.
Well, we'll see if it does literally pay off for him. And so he's close to it, but it's keeping up with this Radiant Lone Druid and this Battle Fury Troll. That's the question if he can.
Yeah, the Battle Fury doesn't necessarily accelerate your farm that much because your max Tree Dance Primal Spring clears waves so effectively. You can kind of just insta-clear waves using that and a Boundless Strike. And this game moving at a fairly slow farming pace. 20-minute bounty runes coming up, and we'll see where those will end up since this is such a battle of economies.
The seeds of fortune.
Smoke up from Liquid. Found Chalice.
TP's out.
Mind Control. Not wanting to go for the Ravage there.
I think he wasn't sure if he even had time to cancel the TP since there is that slight cast time.
Well, these fights now, they're going to be a lot harder for PSG.LGD to fight amongst once that Radiance is there on the front lines, as it's picked up and done by Matu.
There we go, Monkey King. Midas completed. Radiance queued up as his next item. I mean, different kind of greed. The Battle Fury obviously kind of farm fast. The Radiance isn't really being picked up exclusively. It's not really even being picked up as a farming item at all. Very much this teamfight nuisance item with the mischance. It just guarantees you this AoE damage as well. This spread damage that if you're being kited and controlled, you can still be effective. Actually, he changes from the Radiance to BKB now. So Arme just constantly unsure what to buy, which kind of sums up how tough this game has been for him. When you see these players, you know, changing their quick buy items repeatedly, it just really means they're unsure of what is the right choice for this game.
Still such a it's all about the farm this game for both teams. Both teams seeming to have in mind a way to take this. The panel said they did sort of side with Liquid's lineup if it did come down to this.
Yeah, you've got a couple good scaling carries and then good scaling. You've got 5-position Doom. Like when your 5-position can take somebody out of the fight with that. I mean, there's not amazing Doom targets necessarily. Talked a bit about, yeah, Monkey King can still build up his Jingu if he's doomed and stand and fight his ground. If he's got Wukong's off, DOTA, fairly similar thing where if you're doomed, it's not the end of the world. But Liquid's draft just look like they've got 5 heroes that are suited to go late game, whereas on the LGD side, there's going to be a little bit more of a fall off with heroes like Witch Doctor, and I would say even like Monkey, Nature's Prophet.
Now for the Roche, Liquid smoked themselves in.
It's been scanned.
PSG.LGD, they'll certainly want to try and put a stop to this. As the Wukongs comes out from Arme into the Boundless, trying to slow them down. Liquid, they're going to push him back. FY! Oh my god, he's in! The Echo Slam's out, but it's not enough damage. FY will fall. As only Mind Control goes down, Miracle takes the Roche, gets the Aegis. They will kill off the Aegis as in comes maybe with the Stone Gaze. He's now been doomed. He's got to be a little careful as Miracle's back and ready for round 2. The slows out onto X-Nova and maybe he's finished off the Witch Doctor. The chase continues, looking for maybe. Balance strike out from Arme, but the Spike Carapace was worth the GH.
Miracle's
the stun as well. Miracle's trapped in the Sprout. Can he kill his DOTA in time? He can. Triple kill for Miracle, but he does still end up going down. As PSG.LGD, we'll see if they can find more. If they got any way to cancel this TP, they have not. Kuro gets out of there, but it all kicks off around the Roche pit.
What a important first team fight of the game. Really, it is the first one we've had. We're 23 minutes in. It's a Roche fight. 2k gold swing in LGD's favor, plus they managed to deny the Aegis from Liquid. FY Shaker finding the opening. If he managed to kill that Troll Warlord before he secured the Roche and the Aegis, it would have been a very one-sided affair, but in the end, it is a much more even exchange, and things will settle down after that. And with Ravage on cooldown, I don't imagine LGD will necessarily want to let it just settle down. They are perhaps a bit more ready to go the second the Medusa respawns.
See it here again. I mean, brilliant start from Arme, and of course, no hesitation from FY to get that jump in, but it just wasn't enough damage, even though it was a beautiful 3-man Echo Slam. Mind Control still gets that Ravage off, and as you say, Miracle just being allowed the time to get Roshan, get the Aegis. If he dies here, didn't have the Aegis, fantastic fight for PSG.LGD, but he gets back out of it, and he ends up cleaning up a triple kill.
Yeah, they responded quickly, but just not quite quickly enough. They need that little bit extra damage, perhaps something like the Nature's Prophet teeping in. I don't know if Wrath of Nature was up to go with the Echo Slam. They just were a little bit short.
And just goes to show how close of a game this is at the moment. Those sort of seconds just mattering so much for whichever way the fights will swing.
You can see how scared Arme was. The fact he's died twice by having his tree chopped, he actually jumped down. So his team lost a lot of key vision around the Roshan pit when he got off of the tree, but he was so scared. The second he drops the Wukongs, they can Quelling Blade those trees from inside the Roshan pit. So he does not want to get caught out and stunned again. And he's really respecting the fact that, you know, Liquid could just catch him by surprise.
Top lane, PSG.LGD will be able to push on and claim that tier 2 tower, getting something done. As you say, whilst the Ravage is down, it's now back up for Mind Control.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
No Aegis in play. It is Liquid with that slightly faster farming rate. They've got the Lone Druid Bear with a Radiant, so he can constantly apply pressure in these side lanes, even safely so without the Lone Druid himself there. But as it stands, Matu wants to push with his Bear so we can get that a bit of additional tower damage in down bottom. Very much the close playoff series you'd expect between these two teams.
Ever so close this game too. Such a careful, calculated game. Only 9 for 10, not too crazy on the kills. But the farm is there as both teams. Making sure to not let one another get too far ahead. The farm obviously split a little more between the two cores of Liquid. This Matu, Lone Druid and Miracle Troll, whereas with PSG.LGD it's a little more shifted most onto this maybe Medusa. But with that, he's hitting these quick timings. Manta Star, Butterfly done. He's about an Ultimate Orb already in towards the Skadi at a very good time.
I'm enjoying Arme's item building. And not enjoying, I think it's very clever. Getting this halberd now after the Midas, very effective, having a disarm against both Troll and the Lone Druid. And he just wants to be tanky. He wants to be this front liner that can actually kind of not just run away from the physical damage. And that's where the Radiance that he's got queued up next kind of synergizes with this build pretty nicely. He can be in the front line, put that Radiance damage out, give that mischance as well. You know, this Spirit Bear isn't going to build anything like an MKB most likely anytime soon. Miracle himself on the Troll has now hit his BKB timing, level 18, so max battle trance. And they instantly smoke up. Liquid, no, they're very strong with this BKB purchase. But it's been popped. X-Nova, he may die for this, but this feels well worth it.
Yeah, they've found definitely the Witch Doctor, the rest of PSG.LGD out of the area. As Miracle actually popping the BKB there, sort of anticipation that PSG.LGD would jump back in, but it's not the case, and that's a BKB charge down.
Yeah, and LGD losing just the one support there. Meanwhile, DOTA Illusions were farming and pressuring out the bottom lane, and the Chalice Nature's Prophet is doing a similar thing up top, so PSG.LGD just going to be pretty happy with that sequence of events, but still it is that Liquid lead. 3K gold lead, and they're going to be looking to use that big team fight of theirs with the Tide Ravage around that Roche #2. They're happy to farm until Roshan's up because these outer towers just aren't key enough objectives for them. The Roshan is so much more important. They don't want to risk, you know, pushing an outer tower and using Ravage to win a fight, but then potentially Ravage is on cooldown, PSG.LGD can go for Roshan. Roshan is just the most important thing right now for both these squads.
And a halberd's been the aim of the game for both teams. Matu's got his done as well, so can help out heavily against the damage output of maybe Orame, whichever he deems to be the bigger problem in the fights.
Yep. Always one of the items that I feel like is underbought against Medusa.
And up top, Ame, he goes for the commitment, but there's the turn straight away with the Ravage. They're on top of the Monkey King. He's trying to get the Wukong's command, and he will find it. The Sprout holding Miracle back and away from Ame, so Ame's still alive, but now the BKB comes out. Miracle in onto the Monkey King, and the stacks build up. The Monkey King's dead. Sprout holding in Kuro, moving in, maybe has the damage to take down Doom. There's a buyback from Ame. He wants to get back over towards this fight. The Doom's still there, down onto the Medusa. The disarm as well from it to the Maz Halberd. There's a bam!
Oh my god!
FY, flipping Y! He absolutely smashes them! What the hell was that?
Where did he come from? Holy shit!
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh! Oh! I didn't see it coming. They didn't see it coming. I don't know if FY's team saw it coming, but FY. Oh my. Oh. Well, it's definitely worth staying up late tonight for the boys and girls in the crowd watching this one as FY. And now they're just up to the base.
You win one fight with DOTA and you just push it high ground. That's one lane
my
of Rex down.
Goodness. The man, the myth, the legend, FY, showing us why.
Flashbacks to his shaker at TI. This man is
I guess
something special.
That's the power of these sort of slow and patient, quiet games. There's always going to be that point where Liquid, they just forget he's there. They group up as 4. And my goodness, that swing, the FY swing.
It's scary too. A hero like DOTA just naturally has heroes converge on and around her, particularly after they kill the monkey. There's this moment where they're like, oh, we're winning this fight. We can actually, now we focus our attention on DOTA, but FY was ready.
He really was.
And there was a clutch play, like before that Miracle, his BKB was down because he used it to, he saw the shaker coming and actually BKB dodged the fissure, which stopped FY from initiating. The fight went bad for LGD initially because of the BKB usage. But then once it dragged down and the DOTA didn't get killed off quick enough, FY saw his opening, and boy, did he pounce quickly.
Oh, yeah, Liquid, they've just got to be much more careful. We see them get caught out the once. You know, so you fool me once, but fooling them twice, it's going to be tough for FY. But if anyone does do it, and FY continues to be on form as he has in this game, it could happen once more. Liquid, they've got to be careful. FY, he's ready to play.
Absolutely, and suddenly DOTA maybe just turns up with a Skadi, level 22, on his way to a Satanic. Monkey King also level 19, the Midas, this is where it's kind of kicking. He's probably gotten at least one full level, maybe a level and a half of extra experience thanks to this Midas.
A quick smoke up from Liquid. But they can go Ame.
is under
He's prepared and ready. We'll put the Wukongs down. They get the balance right. And fly! Again, he's in with the Echo Slam. Do they have the follow-up? They've got the Hex. They're in on top of them. Can they see a mind control? The counterplay. The Ravage comes out. Miracle BKB tries to move towards Army, but the Crimson Guard. PSG.LGD, they're too tanky. Liquid, they've got to get out of there. FY, Fisher block off. But Liquid, they'll now start to turn and run back towards X-Nova. The Doom's still there on the Doomster, but he's hitting. He's punching. He's hurting.
Good
There's
fear.
the fear. Sends them back. Army Balance Strike. Trapping up Kuroki. The Chalice Sprout holds the Doom in place.
What a
Kuro's dead.
cast.
They've got the Chaos bounces. The X as well. Matu, he's in trouble. Another fear. Sends the three of them back. Buyback comes out from X-Nova. Matuma Man, he's on the retreat.
Oh, they're still chasing. They're bouncing
They're
around.
still going. Chalice and Arme in on the front. But there's
Chalice?
the fear again. Chalice stunned up. Liquid turns. Miracle. Damage is there. Chalice is gone. Maybe. Still trying to go, but mind control's in. The damage reduction with the anchor smash.
Miracle's got ultimate.
They've got the badges, but the ult, indeed, is up with the halberd. The disarm, Miracle's damage output heavily slowed. Spirit Vessel on Army, the Gush. They've got Army, the disarm. They've taken the power away from Maybe. As now, they'll chase for the Deucer. Maybe surrounded the Deucer. Surely dead and gone. He's trying to get Miracle, but Liquid have the damage. It's an ultra kill for Miracle.
He was on 1 health, maledicted. Life steals his way through it with the Vlads plus the Battle Trance. He just overrun PSG.LGD.
And now it's Liquid's turn to push.
They're going to buy back the Deucer, but it's still a 2v5. The problem is they've used everything in their arsenal. They're going to fall back, make the safer play, go for Roshan. They don't know the stats. They assume there is more buybacks on PSG.LGD than there is.
It's a good spawn time for Liquid too. Getting this Roche.
There's nothing you can do if you're LGD.
My goodness. The swings back and forth. What
Wow.
a game two. We are rewarded with this series here. LGD versus Liquid. Doesn't get any better than this. Is now back a 6K lead for Liquid, but you know that can get turned on his head very quickly.
Yeah.
PSG.LGD
The
have still
most-
been taking some very, very good fights, and you've always got to watch out for that shaker. Even at the start of that one, FY, you can see the potential. Quickly following up the boundless stroke with Echo Slams, and straight away sliding into position with that Force Staff to block Liquid off.
Dire's
Yeah,
top
and
shrine
Chalice even
is
had the
under
Hex
attack.
follow-up, but ends up kind of baiting his team later on in the fight. And I'd say most importantly, the thing in that fight that happened is Miracle was in melee form when he got halberded. So it was that short duration disarm. If he was in range form with the full 5 seconds, that would have been catastrophic, and I imagine he would have died, and that fight would not have looked how it did. And now he's got both Sanjin, Yasha, and Satanic. So all of this status resistance is going to add up, and I mean, things like that Heaven's Halberd is just that little bit less problematic to deal with in a fight.
That's going to be so hard to hold him down.
PSG.LGD may start having some damage issues on their team. The Deucer is not by any means... They've got great spread physical damage with this Deucer, but if Troll's just on top of Deucer, Troll's going to win that fight.
Yeah, a lot of control routes, as we saw there as well. The Halberds coming into play. GH walks her, Spike Cap, it's now wears out. Has got the rest of Liquid behind, but the banner's burnt on GH. Trying with the wraparound, but there's the Hex. They've killed off the Nyx Assassin. Miracle sprouted up, cuts his way out.
And that's the other really crucial thing about this Battle Fury item build is he's going to hold on to this to get out of the Sprout, because otherwise you're getting kited every single team fight by it. The status resist does nothing against those trees being summoned around you.
They have to control the Troll in these fights, PSG.LGD. They've got to somehow make those jumps happen. Kill him within that time, as you say, with the status resistance boost thanks to the Satanic. It's not going to be easy. The chances that Miracle's able to press his R button and get that ult off are very high.
I do like that this Deucer goes for this Stone Gaze duration talent.
He slides
Oh,
out of
he's
there
got
with
a
the
roll.
fear. Oh, wow.
The creep blocked the bear.
Oh.
MVP creeps.
Oh, absolutely. FY gets out. He playing it cool. Deep in out of that one, but my goodness, was
Yeah.
it close?
I don't know. I didn't click the bear. It may have had... I imagine Phase Boots was on cooldown, knowing how good Matu is, but very close to catching FY Shaker. But yeah, Deuce's level 20 talent, the Stone Gaze duration, there's potential to catch people twice with this Stone Gaze now.
Oh, man, and with that MKB, maybe hits so hard. They have to somehow get that disarm upon him.
It's this,
He's only, he's only got a Manta. He doesn't have any sort of BKB, so no way to go into the fight without having the warrior being disarmed. The chances are this Deuce is always going to get reduced by that disarm for a good moment of the team fight.
Scary thing too, and the panel mentioned the Nyx Assassin Mana Burn isn't necessarily a direct counter to Medusa at the early to mid game. But once you get late game and you have Nyx with some items and that mana burn cooldown is only 4 seconds at max level, suddenly this Nyx assassin is a very problematic hero for Medusa to play against.
Go for a bit of bear abuse and maybe picks up the 300 gold. Fair bit picked up there. The beating of the poor animal.
Liquid didn't get Rax despite that incredible team wipe, but getting Roshan has not really led them to any successful follow-up fights. PSG.LGD playing keep away, playing it safe, knowing they don't really want to team fight into Aegis and Cheese. The happy news for Liquid is you've also just denied the Aegis from LGD. Aegis, one of those items, particularly good against the likes of Doom that often can just take a hero's life out. I like this from Kuro. Goes back for a 4-star. You saw that last fight, how perhaps Troll could die. If he gets caught in a stun and then Hex, you need the 4-star to save him. That's how you can kind of shove him out, get him into a better position so that he just doesn't die during that Nature's Prophet Hex duration, or the Earthshaker chain stun can get messed up by a 4-star. Very good defensive item to have.
Just 30 seconds pretty much left on Miracle's Aegis. Once it's gone, he will have that slot available to pick up the Monkey King buy. He's got the money for it.
Yep. It's hard for Liquid to kind of progress the game with the Aegis because of this constant split push. Chalice is Nature's Prophet. He may have itemized with these team items, going for Crimson, Drums, Vlads, and now a Hex, but here, regardless of what items you have, split pushes very well. There's some of these, 25 on Dusa, getting close. For Monkey King with his Midas, still not quite getting him that close to his level 25. Has got a Radiance completed and a Ghost Scepter queued up. It's, not an item you normally feel good about seeing on a Monkey King, particularly, one with the Radiance on the front lines, but he just needs to stay alive. He's melting to the physical damage, and this allows him to kind of kite the Troll even more. It kind of effectively works in a similar way to Disarm, where it's like, okay, he can't hit you, he's disarmed if there's no one to right-click during his battle trance.
Now Liquid.
They want to fight. No
Aegis. Get aggressive again. The Boundless Strike onto Miracle. He's falling pretty low. He's got to be very careful. Any sort of catch.
Caught him by surprise, I think.
As Liquid straight away on the retreat. PSG.LGD won't be able to get a catch on them. So they'll get out of there, play it safe, maybe work towards the timing of that next Roche spawn before they try for another push.
And Miracle himself going to have an MKB for the upcoming fight, so he's going to be a much better one-to-one counter against this Medusa. Not having to worry about that butterfly evasion quite as much. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind seeing Ame turn this Ghost Scepter into an Ethereal Blade. We saw last game the Ethereal Blades plays you can make against these single-target right-click carries, and Troll Warlord fits that description, so see if there's any consideration going there. But for now, GH, Aghanim Scepter complete. That is a very annoying item to play against.
And no longer sort of the support hero that you can kill off around the Spike Carapace. He's going to be burrowed down, throwing out spells throughout the team fight. Still very vulnerable on the Dusa, obviously doesn't want to get the BKB this game maybe. So GH is sort of full repertoire, is still going to hinder maybe his impact in these team fights by quite so much.
Dusa's buyback going to come online soon, so there'll be perhaps a little bit of sigh of relief from the PSG.LGD side. They haven't been punished by the Aegis cheese or the buyback being on cooldown. Both teams playing it very cautiously. And Liquid, I think, just feeling good about how their lineup can scale into the late game.
PSG.LGD.
Oh, they're baiting this top bounty rune.
They're coming out
Big
for this.
Fight brewing. I think they see the tide and they're like, let's not do this.
Yeah, they can't go for that.
Meanwhile, the Spirit Bear gets both bottom bounties, so 3-1 for Liquid.
Keeping that there, Worthly. 12k advantage still at the 40 minutes mark for Liquid.
There's the Tome of Experience being bought by Medusa. She's so close to 25. I don't like seeing these heroes use these XP tomes when you're so close to 25. Yeah, surely she just gives it to someone else. Medusa, come on. Oh my gosh, that's the greediest Tome of Experience I've seen in my life. That is so greedy. You were like one creep from level 25. Help your team out, maybe. Come on, man. If you were like about to fight Roshan, sure, but I don't think we're seeing a team fight until next Roshan. Either way, not the end of the world.
That's another halberd done. Chalice. able to offer more utility to the fights. They can sort of time these disarms around Miracle's BKB. He's going to struggle to get himself on top of the DOTA and threaten the life of Maybe. Especially in this late game, this 25 DOTA is no joke.
Battle of map control. I like this Radiant PSG.LGD ward by this push. They didn't put it on the obvious cliff. They moved it further away. And it's not being dewarded because of that. The vision around that high ground is so crucial, and some unique X-Nova wards. That ward's almost, it's been up for half its duration, undewarded. At this stage of the game, having a ward up for that long is surprising. But it's the unconventional placement that works in their favor.
Smoke up and go from PSG.LGD. They're out of the base.
Roche is up in 5. Treants are going to be walking in there too.
GH is prepared though. Burrowed underground.
Yep. They'll see the Roche respawn. But they don't see GH.
It's all about patience. The smoke will dispel when they get close enough, so they'll know that someone is around here, Invis, and burrowed underground.
Yep, they've got sentries too. They're not at the Roche pit just yet.
And there they have the mana burn. Starting to show himself. Miracle looks towards him. They have the stun, but the fish is out. Onto Miracle.
She's got no mana.
He's getting in position for the Wukong's command. Miracle's being sprouted. Pops the BKB, cuts his way out. Liquid, they're backing away.
Deuce is sitting on 100 mana. If they got a shrine, they do, yeah, maybe moves back, pops the shrine. 2 mana burns, chunked away like 800 mana right there, maybe even more than that. Man, that is annoying. GH's positioning very good there just to get those mana burns off from the pit.
And Miracle's got a double damage rune ready for this Roche fight.
Ooh. Liquid smoke up knowing how strong they are with this DD.
All about this Roche. Neither side can afford to let
Chalice.
it go. GH is going to get hexed up. Chalice finding the overjump for mind control. The Ravage is onto 4. Matu, they're on top of the DOTA. The DOTA doomed. Out of mana. Maybe's in trouble. Liquid surround him. He's dead. No buyback available on Maybe. He's dead for 2 minutes. They're onto FY as well as he's burned down by the Radiance. He cannot escape this. Liquid get 3 kills. None of the heroes with any sort of buyback available to contest this Roche, as Liquid will go straight into the pit. They'll have no trouble cleaning this Roshan up themselves, and still such a long time to play where Maybe is out of the game.
They're just playing a bit too aggressively, and you can see why this game has been played at this slow pace, because there's so many kill threat heroes on Team Liquid's side. Anybody slightly out of position, and there it's Chalice TPing in a bit too aggressively, and the problem is the hero he TPs into, the Nyx, and he uses his Hex on, is not the hero you want to be going on. This Nyx is very tanky, hard to kill, and despite this Rax advantage that LG's had all game long, they're constantly being on the back foot.
And they don't have the money for buyback.
This could be
Maybe.
the make or break for them. Shaker is back. It's all up to FY Shaker once again.
He needs something even more beautiful than last time if he wants to try and slow this down, as Miracle takes another tier 3. Liquid, they may not even believe it themselves that maybe he just can't get back into the game.
Yeah, they're going to let this one go, it seems.
As
You've got to imagine they
two
defend.
sets of racks.
You have to defend it. Going down Megas doesn't sound like a great idea, but I just don't think LGD have the best options here to fight with, and they know it. That's why they're not even trying to defend yet, but they're going to be forced to.
Mate. He has a Wukong's ready to pop. He'll move in, try and hope that they force back. On the side, they do get the cast, the Maledict, the Fisher out. They'll jump in, F5 with the slam. They'll kill off GH.
Yeah, it's not the big team fight winning slam, but it's enough to buy some time.
And Liquid, they'll still stick around. They want to get these Megas. They are going to be able to clean up the base pillars. The fortification does slow them. Fisher out. Onto the 4 them. A good bounce with the Nature's Wrap. A Miracle popping the BKB.
He
wants these mega creeps, and he'll look to get them without any issue. Or maybe the Hex. Oh, okay. They get him the once. Now maybe he's in position.
He's probably dying twice.
Let's see if they can do it. He's been disarmed. He really wants to hit that Rax, get that Megas, but the chase out. He's got the ult off. He'll live a little longer,
can't hit the Rax,
heroes, but indeed the range Rax will be saved. Megas aren't out quite yet against PSG.LGD.
Yeah, I mean, calculated aggression from Miracle where he's like, okay, have this Aegis. He knew he was going to die twice there, but it's worth dying to get those mega creeps. Doesn't get him. Still Liquid in very comfortable cruise control. The fact that Miracle has buyback means he knew exactly what he was doing. Happy to throw away his life for the greater good. They don't get Megas, but you're up 5 racks, still in firm control.
And you got to watch out for this.
LGD, you got to go down mid.
And look at this, the Axe Lone Druid. Here he comes.
They're pinging it. They know. They're like,
kill the bear. He's hacked. He's disarmed. The bear still trying to battle on.
Oh, the Sprout.
He's stuck.
Oh, no.
He's sprouted. And the bear will fall.
But more importantly than getting that Rex now is not having to use your troll buyback. I was going to say, the way PSG.LGD can win this game right now is if they force this troll buyback and manage to kill Miracle again. That play, while it doesn't secure them the racks, it just bought 30, 40 seconds. And these lanes are not being pushed out. It does not look like PSG.LGD can put themselves in a position to get this buyback to be used. So if they're going to want to win, they're going to have to kill Troll twice still. And they may just have to go for some big all-in play. Like, this is feeling like we're in Medusa Rapier territory almost, but...
It feels like it.
I mean, you saw last fight how Medusa just gets controlled and bursts down. The stuns from Ravage, Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, all his mana's just gone.
And you're always getting hit by Carapace. Split shot kind of guarantees that. So it's a free Carapace setup into Impale, double mana burn.
I mean, you know, I sort of said this whole game, maybe he obviously doesn't want to get a BKB. Would a BKB have made any difference, do you think, if he did slot it into his item build?
It would have potentially made a difference. I think it's an item you just have to buy on Medusa when you're playing against Nyx in late game. Early to mid game, if you're going steamrolling, going fine, yeah, don't worry about it. But the second the game gets to this 40-plus minute and you're not winning, BKB becomes more essential. It's too late now. He's got to focus on what he can get, which could be a BKB, but I don't think he can get the BKB anymore. It's something that needed to come up earlier.
Yep.
You're down almost megas. Get the Rapier. Hope for the best. Hope that somehow you just don't get chain stunned and mana burn constantly in a fight. And I mean, PSG.LGD, yeah, they've got maybe one team fight left in them. Liquid, plenty of room for error. They still got a refresher shot on this Doom. They're likely looking just to wait for the next Roshan, even if they want to, or a way to sneak this last range Rax.
That Aghanim's Doom too, from Kuro. It hurts if he lays it down.
This is, yeah, that's the item with the break that can just destroy Medusa and Monkey King. We kind of hoped that S4 bought it in the last series when he was playing the Doom. We went for the refresher instead. When there are good heroes who use break on, absolutely, this Axe Scepter can be game-winning.
PSG.LGD, they're on their way out. They get their Hex straight away onto GH, popping the BKBs to Wukong. They're throwing everything down onto the Nyx Assassin and we'll get the job done. The rest of Liquid pull back away.
Kuro needs to be careful. He is very key. He may be the 5 position, but he doesn't look like it. 17k net worth on Kuro. Not every day you see that. And he's got Ag's Refresher Shard with a BKB queued up. And that Doom DPS talent, so a lot of Doom damage.
Such a hard position for PSG.LGD to be in right now. That slam play earlier from FY feeling like a few pipe dreams away, as this game now in a very dire state for PSG.LGD. Only the range wreck standing top. They need some sort of an incredible comeback to swing this around, as you say, all Liquid's heroes scaling so well at this stage of the game. This is what the panel feared for. They said it gets to this certain point. Liquid's heroes just operate so much nicer than the full roster of LGD past this point in the game.
Liquid, they know they're not under any pressure. Yeah, they didn't get that Mega Creeps range racks, but they're happy to sit back, get a few more items, a few more level 25s. Mind Control's got that plus 250 damage talent now, so he's suddenly a bit more of a beast in the late game. And Lone Druid about to hit his level 25 as well. So plenty of scaling going on the Liquid side, and also no pressure until that Roshan's alive. They're just playing around these bounty runes once again. We've seen Liquid set some really nice traps up. Helps them secure themselves bounty runes and also win them some team fights.
PSG.LGD will at least be able to make their way out, take the 2 top ones. There's a DD rune up, spawning it towards the top. GH will get his eyes on it. He's just going to grab it. Doesn't feel confident to buy time, for the rest of his cores to pick it up.
You don't know where that Deuce is nearby or going to come take it, and that could be very problematic. Deuce,
how's the gold looking?
Very close to Rapier. Just 500 away.
What do you swap out? Do you just sit in the high ground and swap the boots out?
Yeah, probably just swap the boots out. They just feel like you're getting kited, you're getting stunned, so the boots don't really help you when you're stunned. It just feels like they lack that save or defensive item to help him out. Like, I mean, they've got a 4-staff on Witch Doctor, a 4-staff on Shaker, but he just melts so damn quickly. GH, I love this. He's seen what has caused him problems on the Nyx Assassin. Just getting jumped and bursted. Gets the A on this now. This is just going to take out one of the ways that we've seen PSG.LGD start fights, and almost, you know, some of their one fights, or at least when they force Liquid back, have come from just, you know, either jumping Kuro or GH. Kuro needs to be the first target of the fight. You need to kill him. If he gets one Doom off, I think you lose the fight. If he gets two, you lose the game.
Maybe he wants to get out and do a bit of shopping.
Would like to. Afraid to send the courier, with good reason. You don't want to lose a Rapier and a courier. Especially when you have no control over that area of the map.
The line's been drawn here.
That's how you get to the shop, they're saying.
It's so hard to do, though, with Liquid all around this position. PSG.LGD have also, they've just got to sort of hope that Liquid do sort of back up from this area, maybe even hope for a Roche spawn so Liquid aren't here and maybe can actually get over to buy that Rapier. GH on constant guard. The security guard here of this shop as GH starts to burn the mana. It's a stun out that will be able to force back the DOTA2. Arme's committing for the tree. It gets caught. The Doom is down. Mind controls him with the Ravage. Arme is dead. Has to buy back immediately.
That was a bit questionable. And PSG.LGD are going to have to, yeah, just reset with one buyback less. That's going to make things just that little bit more difficult. And I just don't see a way they can really get out to contest that Roche pit.
It's so close to respawning.
The vision
10
game is,
seconds and it's there.
Yeah, this vision is just so tough. It's playing against them, and Liquid just maintaining control of this high ground, denying the secret shop, denying access towards Roshan.
It's getting to the point where they've got to send that courier almost on a mission down towards the secret shop of Liquid if they ever want to hope to buy that item.
That's what it might do. Maybe they just don't feel like it's worth buying and not having buyback. But now that your monkey doesn't have buyback, it just feels like, okay, we don't have buyback on one carry.
This is so risky from PSG.LGD. They're coming out with this smoke. Roshan, it's being taken.
It's dying fast. It's dying so fast.
What can they do? They're trying for the wraparound.
They're too late.
They are. Roshan's down. They'll start to pick all the bits up. Cask is out. Maybe does move with the Stoke. His Arme. It's a huge Wukong. They'll look for Kuro in the middle with the stun. He's holding down the Medusa. They've lost the Doom. Kuro will die. They're moving FY. He's got the Echo Slam control, but Matuma pops the cheese. He's back up to full. Maybe he's out of mana. He's stuck in position. BKB is out from Mind Control. Miracle's falling low, though. He's disarmed. They've killed the Aegis. Maybe still alive. The sentry's down. They've got vision on GH. Carapace trying to get the stun. Maybe still alive. Forced to the side. They're keeping their Deucer alive. F-Fight's back in. The control. GH is dead. Kuro trying to finish off maybe, but maybe turns. The Doom is out. Maybe still alive. Finally, they kill him off. The Deuce is dead and down.
Miracle's very low.
And X-Nova buying back for this one. FY still trying to poke. If they can get maybe back over here, maybe they could do something, but maybe he's having to deal with the base. Mind control. Hex. Chalice gets the kill.
They need to just run down mid. Dusa buys boots to travel. Okay, so doesn't commit for the Rapier. Feels like, you know, we're in this one. We're not in that desperate of a situation. Arme had a 200 health troll that he could have chased down there. Chose not to. I think a bit afraid of the satanic usage, but man, what a good fight for PSG.LGD. They keep themselves alive. They still need to force some more of these buybacks, it feels like.
But they get rid of those items that Liquid could have ended the game with. They remove the Aegis. They remove the cheese. As both have to be used in that fight by Team Liquid.
In it with a fighting chance. Refresher on Arme.
Oh, a very different iron build from this Monkey King.
Yeah, look, he's going unconventional, but he realizes his place in this game.
PSG.LGD, 22k net worth behind, but now they're up towards the base of Liquid. Mind Control buying back. Ravage not quite back up, though. 55 seconds without the Ravage.
No Doom for 75 seconds as well.
Matsu is going for the Megas, though.
Yeah, are they going to defend, or are they all in the throne?
They're going to send Chalice back. Chalice, he will be able to get the bear out, and they're going to bring the bear back.
He can't resummon his bear, so he can't really suicide it to get that Rax, because suddenly they could find themselves losing their high ground. So Matu
GH
plays it safe.
Gets Hex on the front, maybe. Moving in with the Stone Gaze. They've got to back off Liquid. Got to be careful now. The Stone Gaze has been used. Maybe it has to be very careful. The fortification comes out. He is taking down the melee Rax. Arme, there's the Boundless. Here's the first. Wukong's ready to go. Kuro, he's shrouded. He's dropped up. He cannot get out of this. Kuro's dead. 2 minutes. No Doom. As PSG.LGD, they'll finish off the mid melee Rax.
Arme has Refresher. He's got another BKB Wukong's if he wants to use it. But the problem is Dusa, a bit low on mana.
Oh, they get the Fisher.
Miracle got stunned.
There's the jump in from Mind Control with the BKB. They're looking towards me, but there's the second Wukong's come on. Ravage, Mind Control comes out. He's disarmed. They disarmed Miracle. Miracle, he's doing no damage at all. They have the control. Miracle's in trouble. He's dead.
Insta-5, they got GH with the stun too.
The Fisher! FY locking him down. GH Sprouted Chalice!
They're
They've
doing
got
it. LGD!
They are doing it!
How?
On to the tier 4s! PSG, LGD!
How did they win this game,
Oh
Owen?
my god,
It's not over.
Oh, but it's done miracles in with the BKB! Can they hold this? Maybe so low on both mana and HP. He has that health. The Satanic FY! He's shutting down the game! He says, my name is FY, and we are getting a game 3!
Absolutely world-class Dota.
Wow.
It doesn't get much better than that.
It really doesn't. A whole day where we had series go the full 3 games. This series, it looked like Liquid, they had the 2-0. But PSG, LGD, these itemizations, Arme, the refresher or pickup was absolutely flippin' fantastic. Series to close the day up so far, and one that game 3 already off to a bit of a poke. Liquid with that smoke. So let's see what can happen. Parker, the panel was saying, Liquid, they got to play this fast. You don't want to go late and try and scale against a PA Magnus.
Yeah, and TA's always been one of those heroes that is meant to win the lane, get a fast blink, Deso, take Roche, take towers, get ahead. You don't go late game with TA. That's just not how the hero works.
Yeah, we're going to look for some of that just old school 1v1 outplay really from the TA in this mid matchup, Miracle versus maybe.
And that's the big thing. It's Miracle back on the mid lane. He's been playing almost entirely those side lane carries, those hard carries this tournament, but they recognize an opening to fit in a TA to their draft and put it on Miracle with Matu playing his signature Razor. So we're going to see Miracle versus maybe.
He's got the hero advantage, as we say, but in terms of top tier mids to play against, maybe he's one of the best.
And the early lane swaps, both teams unsure where to go. Ame on his PA is just sitting mid. He is not going mid. He's waiting to see which lane is his. He doesn't know. He wants to make sure he's going to get that favorable matchup.
They're going to show the two supports up top, Liquid, Kuro, and GH.
And that's when Ame's like, okay, I'm going top. That's my lane.
X-Nova, TP's over, so can grab a bit of action from that first wave whilst Ame walks over to join him. GH is there in between them, so if he wants to throw out the stun, can sort of slow down the time required for Ame to get over to the lane. Just messing around with the PA, making sure that Ame doesn't get a look in on the first wave.
Yeah, you're full mana. You may as well just throw those spells, and you'll see that mana slowly regen back up. But while all this is going on, FY, this is when, if you want to do these big lane swaps, you can't be running a tri-lane at the start. FY made sure that there was somebody in this bottom lane to get that CS as well as experience. So PA will not have to play against the Darkseer from level 1, but you know, mind control on his Darkseer also rotating from bottom to top. Both teams understanding how important these lane matchups are.
And we saw, you know, in game 2, these sort of switch arounds continuing up until like the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, it's getting a bit silly, but it's also like, what are you meant to do? You can't actually use those TPs and put them on cooldown because the other team will just match them. And the end result is a lot of these cores are forced to just run across the map. And it's the supports who love it because players like FY and GH suddenly have lanes where they get to farm in the early game. This Magnus has 5 last hits. He is not a core hero.
Top lane, X-Nova, the Thunderstrike damage adding up, and that'll do it. First blood for Liquid.
Yep. Now the question is, does Ame make the move to bottom lane, or does he stick around? Did not really want to lane against this Darkseer, and this Darkseer Nyx with the double Iron Shell, the stun potential is very difficult to play into. But he has it level 2, has his magic stick, maybe making this lane a bit more manageable.
We'll be able to grab that double damage. Keep that lead that he has in this 1v1. Supports movements are there. FY. He's able to skewer Kuro down into the river. There's the follow-up Light Strike Array from Maybe. And with the body blocks, FY gets his kill for the mid.
Very patient, using that observer vision to scout that rotation, and very well played.
Putting Maybe that little bit extra ahead of Miracle's TA in that matchup mid. As FY straight back down to the bottom lane, top lane. GH and Mind Control once again chasing down X-Nova. The Iron Shell will be able to get back towards the tower. But the pressure's certainly on from Liquid. Bottom lane, Chalice, FY trying to chase down Matuma, dragging him back here with the Shockwave. Matsu, he's stealing damage, but FY, he's stealing lives. He's stealing hearts. The beautiful plays continue to come out from the Magnus, and FY, he's not done yet, trying to body block up Kuro. Not quite enough to get the kill, but still, these movements already, FY on full form tonight.
It's the same creep that Kuro won the lane with as well. That Thunderclap, the Hellbear, 50 mana cost, 150 damage nuke with a movement speed slow. So impactful. And yeah, he devours another creep, but he keeps the Hellbear. He really loves this creep. And now he's able to TP top while the PA goes to the bottom lane.
Radiant structures are
So far in the opening 4 minutes, all cores getting farmed. Nobody getting entirely zoned out on the lane, the top. They're trying to dive in very deep here behind this tier 1, feeling confident, the two of them, GH and Mind Control, with these Iron Shells and with the fact that they pushed the wave in. Chalice falling low, and with the rundown Iron Shell damage, it should be enough. Mind Control gets the kill. Chalice is out of the lane. He is sort of stuck in. We'll see if X-Nova can find the return kill. But he has also got to be careful. The Iron Shell damage now affecting X-Nova pretty heavily. He's got one more nuke to throw out, but GH lands the stun. Stick charges are there, but it won't keep X-Nova alive. It's a double kill for Mind Control. FY, he's cleaned up one. Can he get another? Mind Control does have the salve. So he should be able to keep fine. FY had not enough damage to bring down this Darkseer.
He's going to just
mid lane though. There's a dive, maybe. He's being gagged by Kuro as they go in underneath the tower and sets up for the kill. Miracle, he'll take it. As soon as the play happens, stop, and FY's having to respond there. Kuro collapses onto Maybe in the mid lane.
Yeah, these big kills. The first one was the one on the Razor. So important because Razor dying means he has to TP back to lane, and with these lane swaps, it really is a battle of TP. So the second Razor uses his TP from fountain to lane, PA's able to match it. PA can TP from top to bottom.
Oh, GH won't mind that. FY giving him a bit of a leg up there as he skewers GH towards the bounty rune.
He may not get this bounty
He's got a stun.
Yeah, GH.
He's out of there. FY making a bit of a play in favor of Liquid there with that one.
Absolutely. But all these lane swaps just create so much early game action, and Doom dying up top underneath the tower hurt him so much because his TP was on cooldown.
Mid lane.
Yeah, Miracle.
Got Kuro by his side, kinetic field drop down, stops PSG.LGD from chasing in any further. As FY cannot go in deep, trying to use that Inkswell. From X-Nova.
Got a glimpse.
Can look for Maybe, they get a fantastic glimpse back onto the high ground. Maybe's caught out.
He should have respected that. He did not know Nyx was rotating in, but even without that Impale, he could have just been right-clicked down by Miracle. It would have been at least close to a kill, but the Nyx made it a guaranteed kill, and just too aggressive from the Lina there. Lina, who has laid very well against the TA, not losing this mid matchup.
Yeah, the CS so close in that middle lane. These ganks making all the difference. Down bottom, X-Nova. Able to get the stun off onto Kuro. Backups from FY, but X-Nova right-click down. Matsu.
Yeah, I think he was expecting backup from Ame, but Ame had already had all his damage stolen from the link of Matu, so it was Matu with plus 110 damage and the PA with 0 damage. Is not the best of stats for PSG.LGD. All 3 of their cores finding woes wherever they go. 2 deaths on Lina. The Doom with the death. PA just not farming well. Even though Ame hasn't been picked off, he's just not really found a good home for himself to get some good farm.
You can see with Liquid's core CS, 35, 33, 33, they're all getting that uncontested space that they'd hoped for. Even though PSG.LGD are trying to make these plays, Liquid can keep the farm going. Top lane, trying for Chalice here. Got the creep wave underneath the tower.
GH
So they
trying
can
to wind
continue to
this one
tank it up. The Iron Shell damage. Spike Carapace as well,
Chalice.
making sure the Chalice can't turn, and Mind Control and GH. They'll dance around, get the kill. Bottom
Back in
lane,
mid.
they're going to try and chase down here for Matuma Man. They will find him. Skewer forward. FY sets up for the kill, but that mid lane, as you say, Liquid getting the catch once more onto Maybe.
Dire's middle tower
Another
is under
rotation. These
attack.
Liquid supports so active here in the early game, wanting to make these plays and roam around. Kuro and GH saying, I'm not securing lanes for my cores. They can secure their own lanes. We're going to go gank some fools. And this is the third death on Maybe's Lina. This has always been the biggest weakness of Lina. It's one of the easiest heroes to gank, very squishy, and all throughout the game, this is going to be a big problem. You're playing against a Nyx Assassin as well. At some point, TA is going to have your typical Blink Deso, and very hard to play, particularly when you've had this bad of a start.
Now as the three of them, Makuro coming up top as well. They're going to look to try and take Chalice out again. As Chalice has to be careful. Every time the creeps get pushed underneath his tower, the dive from Liquid, it's inevitable.
TP support coming.
Have
And they've
FY,
got rotations.
And Chalice has 6. He can go for the Doom. Spike Carapace out in time, but the silence is still there. On to GH, dragged back by the Shockwave. GH still trying to give them
Dire's
the dozy-do, dancing around, turning around with the jukes, the stuns. GH is able to walk away from the three of them. FY is trying to chase. Skewers in, but GH is going to be more than fine.
I think it's time to go farm mode. Ame just hitting the jungle. He's got level 3 Empower on the Magnus, and I think FY's job at this point, as much as he's done a great job making plays 2-0 and 2, his job is now just to stack camps, empower his PA. It's, after last game, it feels like a bit of a downgrade, but Chalice.
He's going to throw the Doom down onto GH, but GH is able to walk this one off. It's not going to be a Doom resulting in a kill.
Talked about maybe having a bad game mid. It's also Chalice's Doom who's having a rough time. But here comes maybe with the rotation from an Invis rune. I believe it was scouted by an Observer Ward, and Liquid hugging their tower, knowing that we have a precarious position here.
This is time where Miracle continues to free farm in the mid. They have to get something done with this PSG.LGD.
They have vision. They see GH. They need to hit the stun before the Carapace.
The Carapace is out! GH! He's so quick with the counterplay. FY does get the skewer back. The RP onto the two of them is there. Can they find the follow-up? Maybe Light Strike Array onto the two of them, but GH and Mind Control, they're still alive. They'll be able to stay alive amongst it all, and Liquid, they're the ones that end up getting a kill out of it.
Yeah, they're playing with vision, and they're playing with an Invis Lina. You have to let the Lina stun first. Let her lead the gank, because otherwise that Carapace destroys you. I think they tried to do that, but he just didn't land it, and the Laguna Blade being Carapace, Maybe's game just going from bad to worse. Even though he doesn't die there, it's just not a good look. It really kind of shows where his state is at right now.
Now Miracle has a 50% net worth lead on him. 3K on Maybe, 4.5 on Miracle. We'll see it here.
He just missed the stun, and
As soon as those first spells are out, pretty much from X-Nova, the Spike Carapace is going to be there in response. But maybe he continues to let out his full kit against the Nyx Assassin, and it causes their demise.
good news is you're playing with an Empower PA. You can make these small misplays, but there's nothing much to having your PA farm some jungle stacks and farm lanes with Empower. That's where Ame is sitting up there, about equal net worth to Miracle's Templar Assassin.
Stop. GH being careful. Knows there's backup. There's the jump in. Spike Carapace is there. They have to search for GH. Another Infernal Blade down. Can he get himself out of range of the Inkswell stun? He can, but it doesn't matter. Chalice burns him down with a Scorched Earth.
You want Mind Control too? Chalice doesn't have any way to stop the TP though. And FY needs to just keep following the PA around a bit more to keep those Empowers going. Ame level 9. This game is going to be on him. He kind of played second fiddle last game on his Monkey King. Wasn't the star of the show, even though he made those clutch plays at the end. It was much more about FY and maybe. This game, it's all on him to carry.
As maybe down to the bottom,
Oh, they
cleaning up
caught
the creep
GH
wave. They
top.
do get him. The Doom is down. No messing around. They have to kill GH at any opportunity. He may just be a support, but he's an absolute nuisance of one as well. The amount that he's done for Liquid so far in this first 12 minutes, definitely worth the Doom to take him away and just buy a little bit of a time where they haven't got to worry about this Nyx Assassin making plays.
And they're keeping all the stacks going. Every time I see these minute marks coming up, somebody is stacking, often multiple people. Lina stacked the Ancients for the PA. They stacked the jungle camps near the Shrine for the PA up top. Continuous farm, but it's a similar story for Miracle. He's sitting there, similar net worth, and he's going to find X-Nova.
He has a couple of hits, and bam!
Yeah.
X-Nova's out.
Yeah, these runes have been pretty impactful, although the previous inv is kind of backfiring a bit for Lina, but... And Miracle's actually going to steal that double Ancient stack, so...
They do
really
know
nice
that he's
rotation.
here. I mean, they're coming over to try and put a stop to it, but he's already taken them.
Yep, he doesn't have a blink though, so doesn't look like FY wants to skewer forward for an RP. That would have been suicide as Liquid were there to back him up. So stealing that Ancient stack, nice bit of gold being denied. Separating him a little bit from Ame's Phantom Assassin.
It's mid lane Miracle. Wasn't
The
his skewer
glimpse.
back, but Kura, he's got the drag back with the glimpse. They've caught FY.
Yep.
Glimpse back into the Static Storm. More money for Miracle, and that is going to put him pretty much at the Desolator gold done.
It always feels good playing Disruptor when your team is on the front foot, chasing and hunting for kills.
Down bottom, maybe. We'll TP straight away from Matsu. No TP cancel, of course, so maybe we'll be fine. But it's a lot of the game that maybe he's just having to run away. He's not being able to make anything happen with that Laguna.
And they've got the Desolator now completed on Miracle, so...
Very quick timing.
Yep. Potential Roshan and with any kind of opening around that side of the map.
So they're quick. We'll see what objectives they do look to try and push with the
Smoked under a
Deso.
ward though. The three-man smoke right under a very common observer ward placement, but you know sometimes you think, okay, it's so common they're not going to use it. Druid does have Sentry's observer wards. He's going to want to get down some vision for his team as well.
We'll use the remainder of that smoke to come towards the mid lane, and maybe
Oh, didn't get hit by the Carapace, luckily.
they still get the stun set up. It allows them to glimpse him back into the damage. A Miracle, maybe he's caught out.
It's such a tough game to play Lina, but you can't play alone because of that. You're playing into Nyx Assassin, you're playing into Disruptor who has Glimpse, and it's all this vision set up for Glimpse that makes the Disruptor pick so good. The TA traps the Nyx who can just Vendetta in. And Miracle again, coming in, looking to contest these Ancients, gets there a little bit too late. They know how crucial this farm from the Ancients is.
But the vision's there. X-Nova's glimpse back. More money and gold for Miracle. 6-0-1 on his TA so far this game.
Kill after kill. And Ame can't really fight at this point. He's going to be all about his BKB timing. And the good news is when you're playing with Magnus is you can get that BKB that much faster because you have the free Battle Fury from the Empower. So Yasha BKB seems to be able to be the build he wants to go for. Allow him to come online that little bit sooner, perhaps hoping to contest some of those early Roches. And he, as much as you don't want to as the hard carry, he's kind of the guy who's going to have to be able to start fights in a way. Like this Lina needs to be as far back as possible. Lina needs to be the last one to enter the fight. And as a result, it's a lot of pressure on Army to do, just kind of jump in with BKB and try to get some kills. Oh, they're looking for the glimpse. FY.
Ooh, just out of range of the field and the vision there. So he will manage to TP out to safety. Smoke up on the top lane. They're seeing if they can catch out Mind Control on his own, but he's playing it safe. And he's pretty tough kill. He has that mech. He's got a lot of burst heal, good stats. Even if they do get on top of him, it's not necessarily the easiest pick because he's out of there. Maybe does now have his first item done. The Yule Scepter's complete. For that extra bit of catch and setup, they really need to try and find some kills because at the moment, Liquid, they're taking objectives. They're getting these pickoffs across the map, and at 16 minutes in, they're starting to take down these tier 2s with that quick Deso timing. Deso blink, 16 minutes in, Miracle's getting a little out of control.
Yeah, you don't feel good about this Yule Scepter as far as how it changes the game because you're playing on that back foot. It doesn't really help you that much defensively when you're being hunted constantly, and you just haven't seen PSG.LGD being the ones to set the tempo all that often this game. That's where the Yules is, you know, it's a good setup. Situationally, it's good defensively. This is just not one of those situations. They get a tier 1 tower, but it's Team Liquid controlling the majority of the map. They take both bottom towers, and now they're setting themselves up. Not even looking to sneak rush. They just walk right in. They don't really care if LGD know about this. They know, you know, they see Ame farming the bottom lane, and they feel very safe and secure doing this.
And no real business of PSG.LGD to do anything around this Roche, but even if they're aware, they have to let it go. They don't have the teamfight potential. Maybe if FY had his blink, but he's not quite there. He's very close to it on the Magnus, but now Aegis on Miracle. He's yet to die this game. They haven't been able to kill him once. Can they even kill him twice?
They're hunting. FY's blink and the PABKB.
They get the vision. Chalice dragged back into the static storm, the kinetic field. Matsu's on top of it. Chalice goes straight for the TP out. Soulbind into the stun for GH. The Chalice, he's still the one being chased. Miracles killed off X-Nova. The rest of PSG.LGD will be able to stay safe back in the base. But it's a different story for the towers as the tier 2 mid will fall. Liquid continuing to push their advantage as they hold this Aegis.
If not for that Soulbind, they lose 2, maybe 3. The Disruptor Glimpse there. But they're going high ground here. The PABKB, he's so close to, he's about 300 gold short. Magnus has a blink though. This tower just melting with the Desolator minus armor. Will Liquid push with the next wave? It looks like they're going to ping top. I think recognizing that, okay, everyone's respawning. They're now going to be set up to defend. Because previously when they did that damage getting the tower down to half, everybody was back healing in the fountain from that previous engagement.
GH just giving all the important information that Liquid need on the whereabouts that PSG.LGD head out of the base.
Because just trying to pop that blur, but didn't quite get close enough. Here come Liquid smoked up though.
They're in with the smoke. See what they can find on the back. X-Nova's the one standing between them and the rest of the team. Bam! Woohoo! He's gone. The glimpse as well. Arme drag back towards them.
BKB's on Korea. The Korea, it needs to get here.
Can he get past Liquid? That's the question. Arme is being slowed down. Another jump down. The Courier is having to go back. This delivery's not going to get to him.
He's going to look for a TP out. He blinks. Is there any TP cancel?
He's out of there.
Yeah.
The question is, if can the rest get out as well? FY, blink out into the trees. He's out as well.
Chalice is juking. They've got a vacuum though. Mind control. Oh my gosh.
They're all getting out. A beautiful disengage from PSG.LGD. They only lose X-Nova. Despite Liquid getting a good deep wraparound, the rest of them, they get back home.
That was impressive. I mean, the fact they all just tunnel visioned on PA to chase him down, which is the right play, but luckily Arme had the consecutive blink escapes. And because it's nighttime, they didn't have the vision.
Liquid, they're still chasing. The setup there only gets the one with the vacuum onto the three of them. BKB's popped. Arme turns, looks for the grid on to GH, the Soulbind, the double doom. GH is in trouble. They've got themselves a second one by the looks of it as both mind control and GH are taken down.
They've hit their item timings on PSG.LGD. And they know this was going to be a rough early to mid game. Team Liquid's draft was very much designed for this mid-game timing around getting Roshan, having these mid-game key items on their side. There's still got a few nice items to come. Don't get me wrong, the Razor has a fresh BKB, but if PSG.LGD can weather the storm, their late game is going to look pretty damn scary.
Still holding on to tier 3s and tier 2 still being there on the top lane. The slowdown certainly being done at the moment by PSG.LGD. Liquid, they still have that lead, but it's being controlled.
Yeah, it's being controlled. Problem's going to come when, you know, Liquid can kind of just starve out PSG.LGD. It's going to get very hard for PSG.LGD to leave their base. Even though their high ground defense, their team fight is insane with the Soulbind, the double doom and all that. If you get stuck in your base, you're just going to get, you know, starved, lose all the farm on the map, and Liquid can just look to control all the Roches.
Matsu, GH, they've caught X-Nova outside of the base. He pops the stick charges, but he's gone. He'll take one kill. Light Strike Array will be there onto Matsu, but he backs away. Miracle, though, double damage and a newly purchased MKB on the Templar Assassin, ready for this high ground push.
Oh my god, he's just going to shred this tower.
You got to watch out. You got to step away. If this TA gets on top of you, you're gone. You're out of the game. You're out of the series.
And I love what GH is doing. He's standing forward. Lina can't use spell. Okay, he used Carapace, so Lina can finally throw out some of those LSAs.
At least he's got the Ether Lens on maybe, so he has that reach, that long-range stun to offer to try and slow this down, but with this double damage, the Desolator, the MKB, the Racks are in trouble. They'll get the stun out upon him. Kuro throwing down the kinetic field, threatening the chance of a static storm if they do try and jump on him. Another stun, Laguna, they popped him once.
No doom still. 20 seconds on that. Whoa, very defensive. I don't mind that from Liquid. They recognize, you know, this out TA, Miracle, he went for a kind of greedy build with the MKB. You know, typically you see Deso and a BKB, but wanting to itemize for Glass Cannon, pure damage output. Knowing he has an Aegis to protect him, you can often play without a BKB.
And he just makes that BKB purchase from Arme that little bit weaker. He knows the rest of his team, they cannot deal with a BKB PA. He can. If he's able to get in, as long as he's able to sort of dodge himself around the skill set of maybe a few meld hits and the PA will die.
And they don't have easy ways to instantly burn through refraction. So if PA wants to, play that game of, okay, you're going to hit me, I hit you back, well, you've got to chew through refraction first, and that's where, by the time you do that, you're basically dead to a couple meld strikes.
And I like this as well from Arme. The BKB into the Manta.
Manta.
He knows that can make all the difference when a TA jumps you as such.
Yep.
That meld hit's suddenly a lot harder to hit if you're popping the Manta and giving Miracle an option of 3 targets.
You also break that refraction that much quicker. But yeah, it's very, very helpful against TA.
Just stops you from getting bursted.
Smoke up on the high ground here. Come PSG.LGD, but they are on the low ground, and Liquid positioned pretty well here.
Mind control, the one showing at the moment.
He's not someone you really want to jump. He's very tanky on the darks here. The Knicks, on the other hand, where's detection?
And they've got the dust on GH.
Oh, they found the Razor.
They have the Yule set up, Light Strike being used. They're trying to back away. The glimpse into the kinetic field. Kuro, he has the control, maybe!
They got it right.
Shot down by a TA. X-Nova dead as well.
Disaster for PSG.LGD there. Team Liquid just better positioned. The Knicks and the Darks, 2 targets you don't really want to go on. And Lina kind of like, okay, I don't want to go on these. Let's find someone else. The Razor. Razor is a BKB. I mean, he didn't even need to pop it. I think he realized, okay, you're going to Yules and then LSA me, but your team aren't following it up, so I'm just going to hold my BKB. And there's no real good targets for this Yule Scepter initiation. Unless you can get like the Disruptor or the TA. But that's not happening, and that's a melee Rax now being claimed for Team Liquid.
And that little 10-second window without maybe, it's enough for them to find the barracks. Liquid opening up that mid lane, 11k lead, a set of racks up, 24 minutes in. Liquid, they had to play this lineup fast, and boy, they're certainly doing that so far.
Yeah. We talk about these lineups that sometimes are on a bit of a timer to win the game. That timer kind of extends to later when you get an early racks and you find yourself ahead. 11k gold at 24 minutes. What was maybe a draft that wanted to win the game by 30-ish minutes, you've got a bit more wiggle room now because you've claimed that first lane. You've set yourself up to almost guarantee Roche #2 uncontested. It really gets that much more difficult for PSG.LGD because of that.
PSG.LGD, they have to find some sort of way, really, to get to these backlines. Every single time that they try and make these moves, Kuro is always there to punish any sort of misstep. We saw with those smokes, as soon as somebody shows, if the decision is made for PSG.LGD to withdraw, Kuro is going to always make sure that somebody gets peeled and pulled away from the rest of the team, and that Liquid will always at least find 1 kill out of the missed movements of PSG.LGD.
This is where you're far enough behind and you've got most of your kind of item timings, at least your first level of item timings, that PSG.LGD need to try and make a play of some sort. Not sure if they have anything in the... Well, they've got 1 smoke on the Grimstroke. They may be looking to save it for like the Roshan, but Roshan could be up any time now. They don't really know the timing. They need to somehow push out this top and middle lane and then go for a smoke play. Problem is, TA Traps is so good at keeping lanes pushed into your base, so they can't really reliably push out some of these lanes, and there's so much good Team Liquid vision. This ward up top could set up something really nice for the European squad.
He's the one to show. Matu will reveal the smoke here. They're still able to stun. Light strike down. They're throwing everything there onto the Raze. They're on top of it. Matu's dead.
Yeah,
they get the kill.
That LSA stun caught him by surprise.
If they can get more, FY is on top of Kuro. Again, this reach that Maybe has with the cast range. They'll get a second double kill for Arme. As PSG.LGD strike back and catch Liquid off guard.
This has been the new Lina build for a little while now. It used to be that Yule Shadow Blade, let's get as much damage as possible. Now it's let's get as much cast range. So LSA kind of becomes like, a fissure in a sense where you're casting this stun from fog and from out of vision, so people don't see it coming. It'll catch them by surprise, and often it means they don't get something like a BKB off, and in that case, it's Matu on his Razor getting punished. But they don't really instantly translate anything. They buy themselves some time. They, continually allow themselves to get a bit more farm, which is really all PSG.LGD can hope for at this point.
GH starting the fight off. And Miracle, he's finishing the fight. Beyond godlike 11-0-2. Putting him back in the mid, giving him his TA. Miracle showing off right now in this game 3.
It was 19-0 in game 1 and yet to die here on TA. Fantastic series from him and both these teams as a whole. This has been absolutely fantastic Dota. The level of play you'd expect out of a major. And here we go, Ame, Desolator purchased. His physical damage, he really wants that level 18 for that 450% crit damage on the coup de grace.
And FY constantly on the lookout for those overextensions, ready to make that Blink RP play. It's so hard though with Spike Carapace in the mix. In a lot of ways, the Liquid can take team fights. They've got to be wary.
They see the backlines. They've got an Observer Ward here. Liquid could look to jump, but they're looking to finish off Roshan first.
The vision is so good for Liquid.
It really is.
They smoke up, it's going to get dispelled straight away. They want to get towards the pit. GH, he's been dusted. Chalice is trying to walk
They're
past.
focusing Roche still.
Chalice, BKB pop. He's into the pit. He's going to try and stop this. Can he save the steal? Miracle still gets the Aegis. They get the final touch, but Miracle has picked up the Aegis. The Soulbind and Doom are out. RP from FY. It's out of Doom with a vacuum. The static zone. Light Strike Array is there from Maybe. Maybe has the control. They've killed off GH. They burst through the Aegis. Arme in with the BKB. He has lost his damage. Arme's got to back off. He'll jump back over to X-Nova, immediately TP's out of the engagement. Ooh. Mind control on the hunt, could he cancel it? The vision is there for the glimpse. Kuro drags back Maybe.
Matu has such a good understanding. He knows his role every fight. Static link PA, nothing else matters. Steal as much damage as you can, even if you die for it, he stays alive. It looked like that RP. FY again, he strikes with these big teamfight ultimates.
It wasn't enough.
They couldn't quite kill everyone during the RP.
It's that team fight the Liquid have as well. This vacuum static storm combo from Mind Control and Kuroki. Ever so hard to fight into.
There's
they get
no
the crit, Matu.
Ooh, that
They're jumping, Arme wants to go. Another vacuum though, they're stuck in the kinetic field. They're trapped. Arme, he's stuck. Matu's on top. Jump over to the side to Maybe. He'll back away. But now, Chalice dead for 45 with no buyback. Oh, he's in. Miracle. He melts down another. Both X-Nova and Chalice are not going to be here for this top lane defense.
It's so hard to defend against Nyx. You throw a Shockwave, you throw a Dragon Slave, there's a chance it gets Carapace and you just die. Every single time these PSG.LGD high ground defenders are throwing spells, GH is looking for those stuns.
And there we have it, a second full set of racks taken down by Liquid.
Even the daggers. He's getting those Carapaces off and just making life so damn incredibly difficult. And 2 lanes of racks down. No Aegis, at least, in their hands. If somehow they'd managed to snatch that Aegis, it could have been such a different fight. That would have been
so close. I mean, they got the kill on the Roche, but
yeah,
that, of course, is not really a great factor when you're still so far behind in gold.
And Doom was like, he ran and bypassed everyone, just praying that he could have the fast fingers to beat Miracle to the Aegis, and just couldn't quite manage it.
A Miracle just a few hundred gold off that Daedalus. If he didn't hit hard enough already, he certainly will now.
The other big thing, I don't think the Phantom Assassin had hit level 18 during that fight. So the fight side was like 17.5. A level 3 crit could have made a big, big difference. Those small little factors can have such a big outcome on a fight.
Even though they're 2 sets of racks down, and Liquid have a 15k lead after that game too, you can never write off PSG.LGD when they're behind.
Yeah, gotta imagine that is fresh on Liquid's mind, and they are playing this one cautiously. And for PSG.LGD, you're thinking, you know, we're still in this with a chance. Absolutely. We've got FY playing Magnus, we've got a PA on our side.
GH has got his Axe though, and we saw how much of an issue that caused in the team fights last game.
That's gonna make life very difficult. Smoke up from Team Liquid as they to regain some map control here. See what they can get done. Kuro with an Observer Ward he probably wants to set up, but it's not even just the Observer Ward. You've got all these traps, plenty of ways to obtain and get vision for yourselves here. Go from bottom to top, but doesn't look like they'll be able to find any kills. As
trying to hope that someone comes to farm the waves.
in classic fashion around some of these high ground plays, PSG.LGD just hugging their Observer Ward. They're like, okay, we've got one Observer Sentry, let's just sit by it and If a smoke pops, FY can just like instantly blink back defensively. But they'll be forced back. They have to defend this top lane against the super creeps, and that's just going to be an ongoing battle. Super creeps pushing in both mid and top lane.
Regeneration.
PSG.LGD, if they make a move outside of the base, maybe their last one mistake,
Yep.
and Liquid can quickly clean up that final set of racks on the bottom lane with the damage output that Miracle has. As those plays the PSG.LGD may have had a chance to make earlier just so hard, you know the GH will always be behind his team, burrowed down, ready to throw the stuns out. They somehow have to find that RP into Arme jumping in. And Arme better be sure that he pops that BKB in time. If we see him commit and get a little greedy with holding on to the charge, the fight will be over and he'll fall flat on his face.
Yeah. And the scary thing is, like, even just the cleave could potentially proc on that Carapace as well, so that sets up something like an Impale. His lineup on his team does not have that defensive save. No Bane Nightmare, Disruption, Oracle False Promise, so he has to be very careful about this.
PSG.LGD playing it ever so patient.
For Team Liquid, they may just be like, well, if they're not going to come out of their base, that means we're out farming them. We're accelerating their, you know, they're kind of flatlining. They're not growing much with their item progression. I mean, in fact, PSG.LGD kind of are, just because they were so close to a few items like this Ag Scepter on Lina, so the breathing room does allow them to finish their next item or two. Even this Satanic on PA, very close to completion. But in reality, I think Team Liquid know their safest bet is just to wait for somebody to misstep out of the PSG.LGD base. And if that doesn't happen, you just go for that Roshan, which is Rosh number 3. So Refresher Shard does come into play soon. It's just so hard for this PA to get those kills in fights. If you don't burst someone immediately, the second you show yourself in a fight, Matu is running at you with that static link. And there is no real easy, reliable way to break it. You can try and find somebody to blink Phantom Strike Escape to on your team, but by the time you've probably done that, you've already lost a good chunk of your damage.
Now they're starting to come outside of the base once again, PSG.LGD.
As 5, I think,
They
recognizing.
yeah.
They want to kind of maybe start setting up, thinking about positioning for Roshan, getting some wards down. You have to be very careful because of the Nyx assassin who can hunt them down, though.
Liquid's starting to head over in this general direction. The scan is there from PSG.LGD. They know Liquid's on the low ground, Matsu. He's just going to start charging in, pops the BKB. He's starting to poke at the PSG.LGD. They're wondering how to react to this.
Doesn't have BKB anymore. They don't want to doom the Razor. I think as much as you don't want to doom a Razor, it does help your PA a lot if there's no static link. Like, I don't think it'd be the worst target.
Oh, Miracle's hiding, but hey, they got the
Sentry.
stun, the dust is out, they're on top of Miracle, he's gone! They get the big kill, and now they can look to try and chase for more.
Blinked in.
He's got the surge, will be able to get himself a little bit away, and will manage to survive, but Miracle is dead. PSG.LGD will be more than happy with that pickoff.
That's a big, big kill. But fortunately, they've spent so much time just camping that jungle area around that observer ward that they have to fall back now to push out lanes, so they'll delay this game that little bit longer, but it does look like Team Liquid still in a pretty safe place as far as being able to secure themselves the next Roshan.
Matsu, very close to having the Aghanims. That extra bit of damage output and a potential to siege the base. Close the game up when they get a chance to do so. But the big items is being queued up. Refresher is going to be next for Maybe, and for Mr. Arme, he wants his Rapier.
Yes, that is, you know, I think he's right on this one. He just needs to go big. It's so scary because, like, Carapace
he's just got to make sure that he kills people during that BKB. If he pops the BKB, gets in, doesn't get static link, there really isn't a lot that Liquid can do, apart from TA punching into it. But other than that, with a Rapier, he will kill those heroes during that BKB.
Yeah, and we've panel talked so much about the Liquid draft and how it doesn't want to go super late game. we're kind of about to reach that point, but when you're up 4 racks, 16k gold, you don't mind you're dropping the one that wasn't 100% designed to go late game, because they still have enough damage, enough options as far as dealing with this Phantom Assassin. But plenty of plays that can still be made. PSG.LGD get the Shadow Blade now on the Magnus as well, so secondary tool for him as far as initiation goes, and that invis may be something they're not quite prepared for. They instantly smoke with this Shadow Blade, and Team Liquid, you know, they've got sentries lit around the map, but that's much more for the warding game. If they don't see this Shadow Blade coming, they could be in for a surprise.
GH is positioning again, hanging in the pit. Chalice will throw the dust out. GH, he'll burrow up, but they're in. On top of him, they have the detection. There is backup, but GH, he's gone. They kill him off. Matsu pots the BKB, has the static link down onto Arme. Arme able to break it though, jumping away. The BKB to shoot away off the double doom. They get it off. The soul by the combo. Arme, he's back in. He's got the crit. Matsu and Tia, they're gone. Arme, triple kill. Liquid, they've got to get out, or maybe they get back in. They're buying back on both Matsu and Miracle.
Yeah, I think it's time to back off. You still have RP though. That's the big one here, and this Shadow Blade could still cause some problems. Their sentry ward around that Roshan pit is on the very defensive part of the map. Problem is, all the lanes, they have to be shoved out if you're PSG.LGD. And Team Liquid, they see this, they know this, they're looking to punish it.
They've got to get the Roche. They bought back for this one.
They have to respect this Mag RP though, as well as the cast rage of the Lina, who has a Gem of True Sight, making this very tricky for Team Liquid.
FY. The moment to shine once again. If he can get one of these 2 cores that have bought back. But it's so hard. They know there's a reason why Liquid came straight in with those buybacks. They're feeling confident. They still have that big lead. As you say, with the base and the situation as it is, it's very hard for PSG.LGD to get themselves with the waves in a position that allows them to fight out on the map.
This is the frustration of playing against Templar Assassin, is that she keeps all those lanes pushed in with really zero risk to her own life. The traps just clearing waves.
And they've got it. Roshan, Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard. It's all going the way of Liquid. X-Nova, they found him. They glimpsed back. They've got him back into the damage required. Miracle pots the BKB. The Lagoon is out. Miracle's dead. They've killed him off once. They burn out the Aegis. Can they do it again? They're backing off. Chalice with the BKB on the retreat. A dagger thrown out from Arme to slow him to man down. Chalice, he's giving his over. Why? The 3-man RP, the light strike array, but the vacuum, the wall, the Greaves, they've got the heals, they've got the sustain. Liquid turn it around. As Liquid will take the team fight despite FY's best efforts.
Mind control with the Refresher Shot. He was ready for it. He counterplayed the RP. It looked like Chalice had set them up to win that fight. He grouped them all around him by running in, setting up the RP of FY's dreams.
And now they can do it down bottom.
FY was countered by Mind Control. The vacuum, it pulled, the PA blinked in and was instantly vacuumed away. I don't even know if PA got like a single right click off because of that vacuum. Such a clutch play from the Darkseer.
And with Mega Creeps out for Liquid, and a maybe dead for 55 seconds, Liquid will now look to close up this game 3. They'll have FY back up, but no RP. Doom is available. They have the Soulbind. They need a double Doom if they wish to hold this one off.
They've got to go now.
They're going to try. Arme jumps in straight away. Chalice in on top of Matuma, and Dagger's out, but GH, he's stunning them up on the back lines. They do manage to push Liquid away a little bit. They're keeping their Ancient alive. GH still burned up. There's the Soulbind, the double dagger. They jump in. Arme's committing. The static slows down. The Chalice, he's stunned up. He's controlled. The BKB's popped by the PAs trying to get away. Liquid, they'll focus X-Nova. They'll focus the Ancient. FY gets the skewer back on the GH into the fountain, but he's got a Ghost Scepter. He can't get in. The Ancient will fall. Liquid, they're doing it. They've done it. Game 3 goes to Team Liquid, as they will take the series and move on to the final day here at the Major. LGD, they play.